What is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and you all probably saw this video coming. I've been asked to speak about them a few times in the comments as of late. Loads of big guys on YouTube have made their videos, and now I've finally done my bit of research. It's time for me to make my video. So today we're going to be speaking all about Nikola Motors, you know, the company who could be the next Tesla, or they could just be another NIO. Definitely is a very interesting stock, and I see why a lot of people are getting very excited about these guys. So that's what we're going to delve in today. But before we get too into it, I do want to make it very clear that as of right now, this is 100% completely and utterly a speculative investment. The company has made no money so far. The CEO, from what I can find, has no previous businesses. There's nothing that I can find on this guy except that is in regards to this particular business. And it seems like their main product is going to be these semi-trucks. And there's not a lot of comparisons to be made right now, aside from Tesla, who don't actually produce them yet. They don't sell them yet. They're not on the roads yet. So it's kind of hard, you know, to compare them to anything, and that's what makes them so speculative in nature, is that we don't have much information to go off. But that's what's also could make them really exciting, is they could be the innovator. They could be the first one to do this properly. They could be the best of the best, which would obviously mean that they would be worth an awful lot of money, which would mean that your investment right now could, at some stage down the line, be worth a lot more. If you follow the channel, you know that I don't really tend to invest in these more speculative investments, but I do still like speaking about them and giving my thoughts on them, so that's what we're going to do today. And I will let you guys know at the end of the video if I do plan on investing. With that being said, please take a second and smash the video a like. It helps me out absolutely massively. Drop me a comment with your thoughts on these guys. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions on them. And subscribe to the channel if you're new around here so you never miss a video, man. We are growing so quickly, it's amazing. I appreciate you all so much. Now, with all of that being said, let's get into the video. Let's delve into these guys. So we're going to start things off just by going through Nikola's website and seeing what they have to say about themselves, kind of breaking it down and seeing what the story is. So Nikola Corporation, a global leader in zero emissions transportation solutions, to be listed on Nasdaq through a merger with VTIQ. So this is the stock that everybody's going crazy about because of the absolutely insane growth we've seen since, you know, they've spoken about merging with these guys. Right now the ticker symbol is VTIQ, but that will change to NKLA if this merger is to happen, which it's believed to happen in June sometime. You can see the merger vote is planned for June the 2nd, okay? And if we just look at the last few days here, okay, 5 days, up over 100% since all of this news has started to come out. 100%, baby. That is absolutely crazy. But there'll be more on that later, just a little bit more about what they actually do first of all. They're to use the proceeds to accelerate its portfolio of battery electric and hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles targeting zero emissions globally. They'll build out a hydrogen station infrastructure to support its FCEV vehicles. This is going to be a massive point that we will speak about a little bit more lately, but this is going to be a really tough thing to do. They have more than 14,000 pre-orders, representing more than 10 billion in potential revenue and 2.5 years of production. So that's a good first sign. Pro forma enterprise value of the merger is approximately 3.3 billion. Transaction includes a 525 million fully committed common stock pipe at $10 per share, anchored by institutional investors, including all of these guys. Now this one's important. The company will add Stephen Gursky, the current CEO of VTIQ and former vice chairman of General Motors Corp, to its board of directors. So they're a global leader in zero emissions heavy duty trucks and hydrogen infrastructure. I find it difficult to accept that, considering they aren't selling any trucks yet. They haven't produced any. That just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, now Nikola's business model uniquely supplies both the truck and hydrogen fueling infrastructure, solving the fleet's concerns of where to refuel with green hydrogen at competitive pricing to diesel. So the first point I want to make is that these hydrogen fueling infrastructures are going to cost an awful lot of money to build, and they're going to have to be all over North America. One positive in regards to this hydrogen fueling compared to, you know, what Tesla do with their electric batteries. So a couple of advantages in regards to hydrogen, okay? They'll be able to fill up their tanks in less than 15 minutes. So that is similar to how long it would take up to fill a tank with diesel in one of these massive semi-trucks. And with that being said as well, they'll have an estimated range of 500 to 750 miles or 1200 plus kilometers between fill-ups. Tesla's semi-trucks, okay, are expected to have a 300 to 500 mile range depending on which one you buy. Now I can't find any up-to-date information on this, but Tesla says the battery for its semi-truck would charge in just 30 minutes with enough electricity to last 640 kilometers. So that would mean it would take twice as long to charge potentially and only go about half the distance. So if you're a big massive company who has delivery targets and time is quite literally money, this could be the deal breaker. So this is definitely one massive point in my eyes to Nikola. But one concern I would have is will they be able to raise enough capital to have enough of these spread around the country to make it worthwhile. And while we're on the topic, okay, their products as of right now are only going to be in North America, aside from this one which says it'll be available in Europe and North America. I'm not sure just how true all of this is, because it would seem quite silly to me to have to put up all of these H2 stations all across Europe just to sell one of your products there. So I'm not sure what the deal is. If they will actually all come out in North America and in Europe, we'll have to see. The company expects to generate revenue by 2021 with the rollout of its BEV truck, followed by FCEV truck sales starting in 2023, and the initial build out of hydrogen fueling stations to serve Nikola's customers' fleet, such as Anheuser-Busch. If you don't know who they are, they're the guys who sell Budweiser. So there is some demand, there is some pre-orders, but it will be years until these guys, you know, have a lot of things up and running and are making considerable amounts of money. So now Trevor Milton, founder and CEO of Nikola, we're going to speak about this guy a little bit more, but he said recently, "We're on a roll. You couldn't ask for better news for the energy and tech industry. The world is transitioning to zero emission platforms and Nikola is the leader for heavy duty vehicles." And you know what? I don't know if that can be argued yet. Obviously Tesla are there, but neither of them have them yet. You know, neither of them are actually producing and selling them for people to use yet. So again, a lot of what they say is somewhat stretching the truth, but it's not lies. We believe we have a differentiated business model built on economics, not government subsidies. We now need to double down and speed up the timelines and get to market. We couldn't be happier to have Steve Gursky join our board. So obviously the CEO is very, very optimistic about what's going to happen, you know, these next few years. Here is Trevor Milton, the CEO's Wikipedia page, and it is very short. I can't even scroll down. Here is Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, who most definitely are their biggest competitor. And you can scroll down for a very, very, very long time. Basically, this man has a lot of history, Trevor does not. I've said it before that when you're buying Tesla, you're also somewhat buying a part of Elon Musk, because he is just so heavily associated with the business. And what he comes out and says on Twitter or does on a YouTube video heavily affects the stock price. That can be argued to be a good or a bad thing. I see the arguments for both sides, but Trevor is just kind of his own person, and what he does won't affect the stock price near as much as what Elon does. But more importantly, I don't see what this guy's done in the past. All I can see is that he lived in Las Vegas when he was a toddler, he returned to Utah when he was 8, he's a Mormon, he went on an 18-month church mission to Brazil, and he became fluent in Portuguese, and he dropped out of college. That's literally all I can say about this guy, and as of now, he's a billionaire because of what's going on with this Nikola. So not a lot of information, whereas with Elon Musk, we knew before he got into Tesla how successful of a businessman he was. But he was very well known for PayPal and SpaceX before he even got involved with Tesla. He was seen as one of the most imaginative businessmen of the world, and that is exactly what something like Tesla needed, you know, a company who's trying to completely and utterly change the world. That's what Elon Musk does. Now obviously everybody has to start somewhere, and you can't necessarily hold against Trevor that he didn't create PayPal or SpaceX, but it is still worth keeping in mind from the start. And then earlier on I kind of compared, you know, these guys semi-trucks to Tesla semi-trucks, and these guys, you know, they may have quicker fuel recharge times and may be able to get a little bit further, but Tesla most certainly, to the best of our knowledge anyway, have the technology, and they've proven that they have the most up-to-date technology. They also have an awful lot more money to keep chasing the newest technology. These guys as of right now don't have that kind of money, you know. Obviously now, if all of this hype keeps up, if it all keeps going, if we get new investors in based off the back of this hype, it could very well become something absolutely amazing. Tesla currently has a market cap of 150 billion. Once this merger happens, I believe we expect the market cap to be at about 3.3 billion for Nikola. And there still just isn't that much information. That is really all that we have to go off right now. Is we have this main page. This is all of the information that pretty much everybody has, except for a tweet or two from the CEO himself. And again, that's what makes this so speculative. So what I want to do now is I want to just give a little bit of a recap of what I think the pros are and what I think the cons are. So I'm going to start it off more so with the things that I don't like, just to get them out of the way. The first thing is quite obviously the fact that they haven't produced any physical products as of yet. Now they are expected to do, and they are saying that they will do so from next year onwards, so here's hoping that they do, man. That will be absolutely fantastic for them, and the fact they have so many pre-orders is a very promising sign. But obviously we have to accept the fact that as of right now, there is none of these trucks in the hands of any of these big companies. It's all pre-orders. Next up is that, to the best of our knowledge, they're more than likely far behind technologically in regards to Tesla at the very least. We all know that Tesla are way ahead of anybody who has ever tried to come close to them in regards to just how good their vehicles have been put together. Nobody out there has the features that Tesla has right now. They don't have the money that Tesla has, and they don't have the teams that Tesla have. And not only that, but Tesla already have their charging stations. These guys need to set up these H2 stations, and that's going to be very expensive and very time consuming, and there's going to be a whole lot of them have to be done. I just think it's going to be longer than expected before these guys are actually up and running at a rate that will show us how profitable they're going to be potentially in the long term. And the third thing is, as of right now, they've some sort of a limited audience because the semi-trucks are their biggest selling points, and they also do have a pickup truck, but they don't just have, you know, cars, everyday driving cars, unless you want a pickup truck. With that being said though, there is obviously an absolutely massive market for semi-trucks. Every big business in the world essentially needs them. We need them to deliver food, to deliver pretty much anything. So there is massive market there. So it's not that big of a con, to be honest. I would just like to see them have more commercial, you know, vehicles. Now, some of the pros, and I actually do think there is quite a few pros. The first one being is that there's room in this sector of renewable energy for more than just Tesla. I mean, look at petrol or diesel powered cars, and there's hundreds and hundreds of different very successful brands out there. When you look at renewable energy powered vehicles, it's pretty much just Tesla. They're the one who are doing in any way decent. Obviously there is more, but Tesla is miles and miles and miles ahead of anybody else. Next up, they have a very good backing, and a lot of people want them to do well, thus all of the hype that is surrounding them right now, and that could down the line lead to, you know, investors being put onto them, and that could lead to more money, which could then lead to, you know, them being up and running faster and being able to expand faster, which will ultimately make them more money, which will make investors more money. It's kind of a snowball effect. And then the next one is that they will have the first hydrogen powered semi trucks. You know, nobody else has done that, and this could end up being the future even more so than electric powered vehicles. Now again, that's speculation. We don't know yet. We're just going off what we are being told. But I definitely do think there is a market out there for these guys, and I do love the look of them, to be completely honest. One more thing I will say though is right now there is so much hype behind them. I just want to remind everybody what happened to Nat, how they went up over 100% in a matter of a week or so. Then they dropped off 60%, then they became stagnant for a while, and now people aren't really sure what's going to happen next. So what I would say is don't invest anything in these guys that you can't afford to lose, because I do see a very real possibility of you losing an awful lot of your investment, if not at some stage all of your investment. But if you want to get some money into a spec stock, I think this is a fantastic one to go for, and I do like the look of them. For now, I won't be investing, but who knows what will happen down the line. So guys, I hope that you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please smash that like button if you haven't yet. I appreciate you all massively. And as always, I will catch you for the next video. Have a great day. Peace.